Up with Helen.
Get Home with Roberta.
On Milton Keynes 104.5 FM.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, The Weakest Link has gone prime time on BBC One, and Anne Robertson is still as nasty as ever. Or is she? What's she like when the cameras are turned off? Perhaps she's just a pussycat. Or perhaps she's a great big cow. I can't really imagine what she would be like. Well, luckily, we have an insider's view. Martin Haverty from Newport Pagnell is a contestant on the show that you can see tonight on BBC One. And we've dragged him into the studio to tell us what it's really like. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning, Helen.
So you recorded this when? A while ago, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. To be honest with you, I can't actually remember. It was a few months ago.
A few months ago. And now, you know, we've all been waiting with bated breath, because Martin's a friend of mine, you see. We've been waiting for the time when your episode will be on.
Yes.
So we can all watch it. But you can't tell us how you did, can you?
No, the BBC do ask us to, you know, not divulge.
Sign the Official Secrets Act.
Pretty much so, yeah.
Something like that. But you can tell us other things about what went on backstage, and this is what I'm so intrigued by. Now, some of us have been on Ready Steady Cook, and I can tell you things behind the scenes about, you know, how you get to meet the chefs before in their changing rooms, and you have a little photo with them, but you're not allowed to talk to them too much. What happened with you and Anne?
Well, it's pretty much when you go onto set, you meet the people, the other contestants, you're then taken onto set, and you're prepped, you know, to start filming, and you wait for Anne Robinson to come out.
So you don't get to meet her beforehand?
No, no. So your first view of Anne is when you start to record, and she comes out and she is Anne the persona.
Yeah.
There is no break in her whole person.
Yeah.
She's just frosty straight away.
She loves this.
Oh,
there's
no eye contact.
Yeah.
There's no interaction between anybody, and the first time you speak to her is when she asks you a question. Pretty much everyone else does all the work, you know, making sure people are staying in the right place and everything else, or if there's any additional direction required, somebody else does it. Anne doesn't, she just stands there. But every now and again she'll look up and she'll stare at you, and it's so frosty. But she's obviously setting you up ready for when they start filming, and it's quite strange. You say to yourself before you go on air, or when they start filming, should I say, that yeah, I'm not going to be affected by this, it doesn't scare me. But when she stares at you, you just feel this shiver down your spine, and you think, oh my God.
So what does she do with you? Because she picks on everybody, doesn't she?
She does, pretty much. She has sort of basic information about people, obviously, and she'll pick up on certain things, but she will put you on the spot, and you have no idea what she's going to ask you or say to you.
Are you told beforehand that it's okay to be rude to her? Not rude to her, but you know, some people try and talk back to her.
Yeah, again, just because it's just it's going on, you're encouraged to interact.
Yeah.
You're encouraged to respond to her.
Yeah. I
don't think they necessarily want you to be rude, but they don't mind if you're a bit feisty. And it's quite strange, because a few of the other contestants that were on the recording that I was on had already said, well, if she tries to pick on me, well, I'm going to give her as good, but they didn't. You know, it's really quite funny. They just, you know, they sort of clam up.
So were you nervous?
No. I must admit, I love all this sort of thing. I've done a few things in the past, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And the one thing I really wanted to have happen was to be picked on by Anne Robinson. That was my big thing. I knew I wasn't going to walk away a multi-millionaire from the show, and but if I'd have left the show without being picked on, I would have been bitterly disappointed.
Yeah.
But thankfully I did get picked on.
What did she pick on you about? Just a little preview for tonight's episode.
Well, I managed to make a complete fool of myself, because she picked up on the fact that I've been married 4 times, and she picked up on the age ranges of my wives, and the fact that my first 3 wives were around about the same age as myself. My wife now, Claire, is 16 years younger than I. So as soon as she started to ask me the questions, I knew where it was leading to. But she caught me out by asking me the actual ages of my wives, which I managed to get wrong in all instances. Not just 1 or 2 or 3, all 4, including Claire. So yes, yeah,
brilliant. Well done.
Yeah,
well done. And when you did get it wrong, how was you know, inside Anne was clearly smiling gleefully.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was, and you could tell there's a wicked smile she has, and I'm sure it's off camera. I'm sure it's when they've got the camera shot from behind her. She'll ask something, and she'll know she's caught you out, and there is almost a twinkle in her eye, and you just think, you did that deliberately.
She's very clever.
Oh, she is.
Do you think that she is like that? She's not like that off camera, is she?
The whole time I was there, she didn't change. She was as you see her on the TV show. And I did speak to a couple of the runners and the production staff, and they said basically she comes in, she gets to the door, and it's the Anne Robinson.
She flips. You know, she turns into.
Yeah, she does.
You know, click of her fingers, and she turns into.
Absolutely, and she spends all day like it. And you know, it's almost like at 5:30 or whatever clocking off time. Then she goes back to being a normal person, if you can believe that's true.
Character, it's like a panto character, isn't it? And what's the feeling like backstage when, you know, amongst the other contestants, when you get voted off, essentially?
Well, I can speak for certainly the people that I was with. Everybody was fairly good-natured. I mean, including the first guy that got voted off. And again, without giving away too much, bless him, he was picked on, and it was a little bit unfair. And we've had email communications after the show. And he always refers to the fact that, you know, the 4 that voted him off, but it's always tongue-in-cheek, and it was all pretty much, you know, good-spirited. And even towards the end of the show, the eventual sort of winners, you know, the people in the final, pretty much they got on, you know, and it was a game show,
fun, isn't it? It is a game show.
Yeah.
What's the ultimate you can win on the Weakest Link?
You know, I think it's
monetary, isn't it? It's
yeah, it is. It's a few thousand, I think.
It's the fact that you're on, you know, you're on the Weakest Link that counts.
Yeah.
So you're on tonight.
Yes.
And it's on BBC One now.
Yes, BBC on 5:15.
On 5:15, okay.
Yeah.
How are you going to watch it? You know, will it be a kind of regal event?
I'm going to record it.
Yeah.
Because I think Claire's working, so I may wait until she comes home to watch it with her. You know, just so that, you know,
just so she can see you be picked on.
Share that moment, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for telling us about it today.
My pleasure.
Fascinating. Truly fascinating. A behind-the-scenes view of what happens on the Weakest Link.